The NRAI, the Restaurant Umbrella Association with nearly 5,000 members, had moved the antitrust regulator CCI last year against both Zomato as well as Swiggy, alleging a whole host of issues, whether it is deep discounting, data masking, not having a fair marketplace with private labels in the form of cloud kitchens being on both the platforms. The CCI, prima facie, has found both Zomato as well as Swiggy allegedly guilty of certain malpractices when it comes to the competition law. It's a detailed order of 14 pages. An investigation has been ordered and a report will be submitted. I'm going to be now in conversation with the president of the NRAI on this. Kabir Suri, welcome to ET Now. It's a complaint that was made last July. Now an investigation has been launched and ordered by the CCI, but prima facie, the CCI says it has found a case of cartelization of sorts. If I could first get your initial reaction, because the fact is the restaurants and Zomato Swiggy have a love-hate relationship, but you guys also need to have each other and be symbiotic.
That's true. Thanks for having me, Nayantara. We are glad that all our sort of efforts and engagement with the government has been heard. I think we had substantiated our stand, and the government has taken note of the same. Things like, a neutral marketplace is what we're solving for. And like you just mentioned, unbundling, white label, commission, discounting, are various elements part of that. I think for us, you're right. We do need to, work together as a community, a part of the F&B industry. And that is what we've been striving for many, many years. I think things have got accelerated where the pain really obviously got magnified during COVID. And while we were engaging with the two sort of aggregators, we were not able to resolve the larger issues. And the larger body in general, the trustees and the management committee of NRAI decided that we need to formalize our complaint and take it to the government and ask them to investigate it. So I think today where we find ourselves based on yesterday's order is step one. I think the details need to be looked into further, and I think that's what the government has. I think part of our 5 or 6 issues, they've highlighted 3, which is what they are wanting to expand on and try and investigate within the next 60 days.
But tell me, Kabir Suri, a lot has also happened since this complaint has been made. At least one got the sense that the restaurants and Zomato Swiggy on the other side were going through a better phase of their relationship. One got that sense. But when one goes to the order, it's been written very clearly by the CCI that Zomato, Swiggy were sending restaurants WhatsApp messages, increasing commissions in an ad hoc manner. Tell me, since the complaint has been filed, there have been no conversations? You folks have not been able to arrive at a middle ground?
No. So what we've done post the complaint and post the new sort of NRAI heads, as I just took over recently along with my vice president. What we have done is engaged with Zomato and Swiggy, tried to bring them on the table and trying to resolve some of the issues. But like I said, the macro issues remain. We've tried to focus on some of the micro issues, and I think it's fair to say, and fair for me to say, that they have come on the table to work with us in resolving many of these issues. We've created sort of various different city engagements along with both the aggregators to help our members and to resolve some of the issues. But when it comes to specifics, such as someone's commission being more than it needs to be, we as an association can't individually nitpick on that with Zomato and Swiggy. That is left for each individual member to engage with the aggregator. However, we as a body have a responsibility because ultimately they are part of the fraternity and they're part of our membership. And hence, when things do not get resolved and when things are post being highlighted, not being addressed, we have no other stand but on a larger scale to speak to the heads of both entities, companies, and try and engage. So our engagement remains. Even though the complaint in the CCI was filed in the 1st of July, we still remain committed in engaging with Zomato and Swiggy and trying to resolve some of these issues, because I don't believe what we're asking for is is anything extraordinary. Rationalization on commissions, rationalization on discounting, unbundling. What we are asking for is, why can't we have the choice of using whichever service they provide? Why is it that we need to use all their services, right? So there are many points that are part of our complaint, which can be resolved. But I think both sides need to have intent, and we are showing our intent by engaging. And I leave it to the two of them to come forward and try and resolve them with us.
Because, Kabir, what has also happened since the pandemic, and, COVID has, of course, been a change, a once-in-a-lifetime change that takes place. We understand, and our channel checks tell us that Zomato, for instance, has started sharing data with at least certain leading QSR chains. They were doing it earlier with Jubilant. They started doing it with others. Since COVID outbreak as well, what we are told is that Zomato and Swiggy are no longer doing the deep discounting because they need to protect their own cash. Zomato is now also a listed player. So if it's doing deep discounting, it's asking the restaurants to kind of bear that loss. Is that correct? And in that sense, isn't a lot of the issues therefore getting solved?
No, so Nayantara, the issue is, when it comes to unbundling, what that means is for me to be on their platform. When I say me, I mean the fraternity. People need to spend ad dollars to be able to be visible. People need to give discounting for the way the system works. We have to use their riders. So, for example, if we have the ability to deliver our goods ourselves, we are unable to use our own staff, but we are supposed to use theirs. The commission is tied to that. So indirectly, they've basically cornered the restaurants where all the services need to be utilized by them, right? So that's point one. In regard to discounting, yes, I agree. They have stopped discounting, but what they make restaurants do is, in order for you to be visible, you need to discount yourself. So ultimately, during COVID, when it was a fight for survival for so many, what was basically asked of them was that you need to support us, which they have to a certain extent, where there were extraordinary commissions that were being applied, which were in excess of 25% to 27 to 30% for many, where we as NRAI have spoken to them and asked them that they need to rationalize that correctly. So yes, they are addressing these issues, but the issues are yet to be finalized, right? So what I mean by that is it's work in progress. The CCI 1st of July complaint was filed. Our engagement was prior to July, and our engagement remains in the present as well. We are working as 2-3 different bodies trying to resolve the issues.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see how all of these pan out. For now, prima facie, the CCI does believe that Zomato and Swiggy are allegedly in violation of best practices when it comes to competition law, and investigation has also been ordered. Thanks a lot, Kabir Suri, for joining us today on ET Now.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.